Welcome back to the channel. My name's Tom, and today I decided to change things up a bit and visit a mall that is actually successful. This is Cape Cod Mall in Hyannis, Massachusetts. Now come along with me and my mom and let's take a look around. As you can see, it's a Simon Mall. I've mentioned it before, but in my experience, most Simon malls tend to feel very much like one another. They usually have a white, beige, and silver color scheme, a very clinical appearance, and while they're generally successful, I find them kind of boring. That, however, in my opinion, is not the case here, other than the entrances and some of the other exterior facades, which do look very Simon-like. Maybe it was because of the time of the year I visited, this being filmed a week before Christmas, the large number of shoppers, the generally low ceilings, narrow hallways, but my experience at this mall genuinely reminded me of what it felt like to shop at a mall back in the 80s or 90s, which doesn't happen too often. This mall was developed by Davenport Realty and Equity Management and first opened in 1970, and fun fact, it was built on the site of an old Storyland theme park. The original anchor stores were Filene's, Woolworth's, and Sears. While none of these original anchor stores remain today, the mall currently does not have any vacant anchor spots, and I think I only saw 2 vacant storefronts. Over the years, the mall has gone through a few major expansions and renovations. The section of the mall we're in now was added between 1998 and 1999. This was the mall's largest renovation and expansion to date. This food court, as well as the Best Buy, Marshalls, and Barnes & Noble, used to be parking spaces. Originally, this food court also included a carousel, but it appears to have been removed sometime, I think, in the 20-teens. I couldn't find an exact date as to when it was removed or why, though, so if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. And then also during this 98 to 99 expansion, they also doubled the size of the Sears and added a 12-screen Hoyt's movie theater, which has since become a Regal cinema. Also, as you can see, this food court is fully occupied with restaurants, which, again, is something I rarely see nowadays. And don't forget, if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up. Thanks. From what I've read, this mall was a success from the start and seems to be doing pretty well to this day. While I was researching this mall, I didn't run across a single article indicating that this mall was struggling or dying, which again is very unusual. I would guess this mall is probably successful, at least in part due to its location. There really aren't any other indoor malls in this area. The next closest indoor mall is the Kingston Collection in Kingston, Massachusetts, but it's about 40 minutes away and it's definitely not convenient to get to from here. So this mall really doesn't have any competition, at least as far as malls go. And also, as most of you probably know, Cape Cod attracts a lot of tourists from out of town, especially during the summer, so there's really no shortage of customers. I'm sure there's other reasons for the success of the mall, but those are just the 2 that popped into my head. This was filmed between about 3 to 4 p.m. on a Wednesday, and I guess that's when Santa takes his lunch, because he was not here. But stay tuned till the end of the video, because he does make an appearance at the very end. As far as I can tell, this hallway, or at least part of it, was added during the 1998 to 1999 expansion. Before that, the mall maps show that this was the Woolworth store. And the mall hallways didn't start until we get further down this hallway, where we come to the intersection, which would take you to the right down towards the first Macy's. So I think this is all new, and it does look new. This looks like new architecture to me. But of course, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. When it comes to classifying this mall, I would personally probably say it falls somewhere between like mid-range to high-end. It's definitely not super high-end like the mall at Short Hills in New Jersey. It's also not quite as high-end as West Farms Mall in Connecticut, but it's close. thought this was kind of surprising. I don't remember the last time I've seen anybody selling one of these knockoff Nintendos at a mall. See them at the flea markets all the time, but I just don't see them at malls anymore. This is a little unusual too. This hallway here, which looks like the one you would just take to go to the bathroom, actually takes you to 4 of the restaurants. They have little back doors you can go in. Without that hallway there, the only way to get to those restaurants would be to walk outside the mall and go in the front, so that is convenient. Right now, I believe we're exiting the 98-99 expansion section of the mall. I think this would have been approximately where the entrance to Woolworths was. This section of the mall down this hallway was added during the mall's first major expansion between 1977 and 1978. In addition to adding these inline stores on the left and right, it also added a 4th anchor store, Jordan Marsh, which was down at the end of the hall. The Jordan Marsh was here until 1986 when it became the mall's first Macy's store. It then became the Macy's men's store in 2006 when the Filene's was converted into a Macy's women's store. In 1986, there was a second renovation to the mall, which added a food court, not the current food court, and they also refreshed the mall's interior. I'm not exactly sure where the first food court was, though, so if anybody knows, please let me know in the comments. Here's something you probably would not have seen in a mall 20 or 30 years ago. This is the Alzheimer's Family Support Center. It's becoming much more common nowadays where they have like medical providers moving into malls. But as far as I remember, back in the 80s and 90s, that was just unheard of. And this, of course, is where the Jordan Marsh used to be. This is the 10-Pin Eatery, which opened in 2020. It looks a lot like a Round 1 arcade to me. Basically, it's got a bowling alley, laser tag, and according to their website, 50 arcade games. I was considering doing a walkthrough, but the way it's set up at the front here, it almost looks like you have to pay an admission, so I don't know if they would have just let me walk in. But let me know in the comments if you've been in there before. Do they charge an admission fee? If they don't, the next time I'm here, I'll try to do a walkthrough. Yeah, this right here looks very much like a Round 1 arcade. I think it's kind of unusual to see an open express store with one of these red entrances, because most of the malls I go to where you see these red entrances, the store is out of business. On the left, that's where the original anchor store Filene's was located. In 1977, it underwent a major expansion where they added a second floor. And another fun fact, when they added the second floor, it became the first store in Cape Cod to have escalators. In 2006, it became the Macy's women's store, which it remains to this day. And I would bet that that brickwork there with the lamps is original to the mall. That looks very early 70s to me. I thought it was kind of funny how they placed the nativity scene in front of the Victoria's Secret. Like, out of all the stores you can place it in front of, you went with Victoria's Secret? I don't know. Seems slightly out of place. If you're ever thinking of giving me a gift and you're thinking of going the route of a gift card, Don't get a Simon gift card for me. Please don't. I actually don't even understand how that would work exactly. Like, is there a Simon store you spend it at? How does that work? Now, down this hallway is where you get to the Regal Cinemas, but apparently you have to go outside to get to it. There was no entrance to the theater inside the mall that I could see. I don't know if there used to be in the past, but there does not seem to be today. Straight ahead where the Target is today, that used to be Sears. The Sears closed in 2018, and then it was replaced by the Target not too long after, I believe in 2019, so the Target went in pretty quickly. And then on the left here, this Dick's, this moved in 2020. And based on some of the old maps of the mall, it appears that at least part of the Dick's is occupying some of the old Sears building. But I'm not 100% sure on that. Another thing they have here that I don't see at most malls nowadays are kiosks that are actually open. Usually in most other malls I go to, these are closed up. Like, you'll see the remnants of where the kiosk used to be, but they're generally vacant for the most part. Alright, so now it's time to get some dinner. And I still think walking down this not so inviting hallway is kind of weird, but we ended up finding a restaurant called Not Your Average Joe's, which I've never heard of before, but it was pretty good. I can't even really describe what kind of restaurant it is, though, because they had Chinese food, they had Mexican food, American food. It was like a mix of everything, but it was pretty good, so I do recommend it. Five Guys. What is Not Your Average Joe's?
I don't know.
It's a weird location to have restaurants.
It's strange.
Pizza, buffalo wings.
There you go.
All right, so that was pretty good. Like I said, I do recommend it. And now it's back to the mall. Coming up on the right is a pop culture store called the Geek Stop, and I thought it was kind of funny that this is very clearly an old hair salon. They still have all the mirrors set up, and I kind of wonder if they still have the sinks too. And Santa has arrived. And he doesn't look nearly as sad as all the other Santas I've seen so far this year. Now, don't go anywhere yet. Next, we're going to do a drive around the mall so we can see what it looks like from the outside. But let me know what you think about the mall so far. I would say it's very clearly not a dead mall. It feels like a thriving mall to me. Of course, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. I'll probably come back sometime again, maybe this summer, to take another look at it, you know, when it's not the holiday season. And also, I'll probably try to look at some of the other sites around Cape Cod. But, yeah, overall, not a dead mall. Seems to be doing great, and it's a nice change because, as you've seen, my last few videos have all been at very dead malls, and it's nice from time to time to see a thriving mall like this. Excuse me. Alright, so first off, this is the 98-99 expansion portion of the mall, and this is really the only section of the mall that I would say looks like a Simon Mall, which makes sense because Simon took control of the mall at that same time. Here's the Macy's Men's and Home, which was originally Jordan Marsh, and I'm fairly certain that is the original facade for Jordan Marsh. And here's the only image I could find online of what it looked like back when it was Jordan Marsh. Now I took a bit of a wrong turn here. I thought I could keep going around the mall down this way and go past the movie theater on the left, but nope, this is a dead end. Now, right there, that building is the movie theater, and it looks like there used to be a road there that used to go down in front of it, but now it's all covered in grass, so I would imagine that's been closed for a while. Not sure why they would have closed that up, though. This little bus you'll see in a second just blew through the stop sign right in front of me. Didn't even slow down. And here's the movie theater coming up on the left. And again, I think the only way you can get in there is through this door here. This is the Target building, and this is where the Sears used to be up until 2018. And here's what it looked like back when it was still Sears. Here's the Macy's Women's Department, which was originally Filene's, and I'm also fairly certain that is the original facade from 1970. And that's great. I love that. I haven't seen one like that before. And then finally, I think this is approximately where the Woolworths was located. And there you have it. That is Cape Cod Mall in Hyannis, Massachusetts. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and hit that notification bell. I've got a lot more mall videos coming up, as well as store walkthroughs and, of course, flea markets. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.